Hi, everybody. From the ancient times, clove and pepper are one of the most prized and expensive spices in Sri Lanka. Currently, Sri Lanka is an exporter in wide range of products of them to the global market. So, today our discussion is about utilization of clove and pepper for development of food, pharmaceutical and cosmetics products. So I cordially invite Mr. A.M Hettiarachchi-Visiting lecturer as well as business advisor to conduct this session. Sir, now it's the time to you.
Thank you so much. Actually, I like to discuss. This is not a training program, or this is not a given lecturing for this. Actually, I want to discuss with you. If you have any question, you can ask me, because I like to share my knowledge. Because these clove and pepper, we are currently sending as a raw product. We are not developing any product through these things. Why? Because of sometimes lack of knowledge or lack of market experience. That's why we are every time like to send in raw coconut, raw clove or pepper. So that's why I like to discuss about with you how to utilize in these clove and pepper, develop new products. So first of all, I want to open my slides. You can see it.
Yes, sir.
Can you see it?
Yeah, we can.
So my topic is utilization clove and pepper, developing food, pharmaceutical and cosmetic products. I'm Parajit Manupuri Hettiarachchi. This is my qualification and my visiting card. I'm currently doing visiting lecture in some universities and doing some business advising for the develop products or develop systems in different companies. First of all, clove. First, I like to explain you about the clove. I'm not going through the historical background and what are and clove tree, what are the benefits and all the things. I like to discuss with you first what are health benefits. Why we want to discuss about the health benefit? Because if we know the health benefit, it's really easy to develop the new product. Because otherwise, if you couldn't have any knowledge about health benefits or what are the benefits we can use this one, then according to that one, we can develop the new product. Otherwise, you are stuck in with some place, because if you want to develop the product and send in the European, send in the overseas market, international market, they are asking what are the benefits we can use this one, and what are the claims we can do it through this product. So that's why we need to know about what are the health benefits. So actually, these are the health benefits. I'm not going through all the one by one. I like to discuss about few things. Actually, clove helps to develop our digestive system. That's why in ancient time also we use clove for the during cooking purpose, for the cooking meats, especially we utilize cooking meat product. Why we use for the meat product? Because clove have a benefit. It can reduce the fat content. Another thing is it helps to the once when we cooking that one. For example, wild meat is really tough. It's really difficult to digest. But if we add clove for these things during the cooking process or during thawing, this meat can be relaxed after relax that meat, it helps to the cook easily. That's why ancient time also we utilize clove for the digesting, and it helps to the reduce blood sugar also. And many products today also we develop in oral health products through the clove, toothpaste and many things. Later I will discuss about that. So it's have a oral health. We are utilizing as an oral health. I remember when I am a kid. So if I have a bigger problem, I have my teeth are. I have a teeth pain. So if I say my grandfather, he every time gave me a clove, but he said chewing this one. Then actually, once we chew that one, uh, few minutes getting normal way. So that's why uh, I know this clove we can use as an oral health product, and also skin health product, and also respiratory tract health product. We know during COVID time, we utilize clove. Uh, uh, we put the clove into the boiling water and uh, inhale. It's really helpful for the respiratory system health. So that's why so we can develop using clove these kind of products. Why we want to develop the new product? Why we can't send in these things as a raw product? Because if we are sending as a raw product, okay, as a raw material, you can't price in bigger price. But if you develop a new product, or if you it's called value-added product, then we can earn a lot of money. As a country or as a person who doing the business, they need to think about this. Because if we are going to send only raw product, raw material, raw cloth, you can't earn a lot of money because they have some limited price for the cloth. That's why we need to think about something else differently. Something develop new value-added product. If we can develop the value-added product, then uh, most of the customers willing to buy these kind of things. Then ultimately, our economy also can get the healthy. We can develop healthy economy, and your business also can develop healthy. So that's why we need to think about different way and develop some value-added product. So first, I like to discuss about food product. What are the value-added food products? So clove we can use as a flavor. Today, most of the beverages, especially tea, coffee, and especially wine production. Also, we are using flavored wine with clove. But unfortunately, today, actually, we are buying a lot of these flavors from some foreign markets. Why? Because we couldn't have any proper technology to develop flavoring process. But actually, this flavoring process is a little bit costly, but you can earn the money 10 or 100 times more than sending raw clove. Uh, so I know many companies in Sri Lanka. They are doing tea flavors. Tea as a clove. We are using tea tea mixed with clove flavor adding for the enhance the market, and we think about is the value added product. But unfortunately, these flavors we are buying from foreign countries. So that's why is not given any valuable to our Sri Lankan economy. That's why if we want value-added products, develop the value-added tea or value-added coffee using clove flavor, so we need to develop flavors also in our country. If we can develop flavors in our country using simple technologies, then we can earn a lot of money. Another thing is we can use as a food supplement. So what are the areas we can use as a food supplement? You know, as I discussed in earlier, you can use for the blood sugar level, controlling the blood sugar level and improving the liver health and benefit for the digestive system. So if we can develop food supplement for these kind of areas, you can earn a lot of money because today normally people couldn't like to use the Western medicine. They like to use some Ayurvedic medicine or some indigenous medicine system. So that's why if we can use this flow and develop some food supplement, they have a huge market for especially blood sugar and liver health, because most of the people suffering in liver health, especially people who have a non-alcoholic liver diseases. So these food supplements are helpful. Okay, then I like to move to pharmaceutical products. So what are the pharmaceutical products we can develop? As I discussed earlier, we can utilize this flow as an oral health product. For example, toothpaste, mouthwash, because clove have a antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties. You know, today many foreign countries using this clove and using fraction distillation system and dividing some chemicals using these distillation for the chemical and get the chemical through the chemicals. They develop lot of products in oral health, toothpaste and especially mouthwash. So as a I'm not like to open your eyes for the toothpaste or mouthwash, because they have a huge products in international and local market. It's really difficult to compete with these uh, uh, brands. So I like to recommend you can develop coffee, you can develop some chewing gum or peppermint. These kind of products we can develop using this clove oil or raw clove. Then uh, then this is the new market and new thing. We can open our eyes to these kind of things product. And clove we can use for the uh, uh, cream. We can develop the cream. We can develop the cream also utilizing clove product, because it have a skin health function. And another thing is clove have a eugenol. This eugenol actually have a mosquito repellent property. Uh, so so if we like to develop some mosquito repellent cream or mosquito repellent balm, we can use this clove as a clove or eugenol as an ingredient. Then really helpful for the find the new market. Other thing, as I said earlier, it respiratory system. It improves respiratory system. So if this one helpful for the respiratory system, then we can develop some product for the asthma patients, because lot of people I know suffering from asthma or some cardiac uh, some cardiac thoracic diseases. So if we can develop some products for these kind of patients, it also have a new market. Then I like to discuss about as a cosmetic product. Cosmetic product, so we know we can use clove. Today also many company using clove oil for the develop balm, some scrub. For example, if we want to do some facial or something else, we can use clove for the cleaning our dead skin, and we can develop the lotion also, anything from using clove as a cosmetic purpose. Then, as I discussed in earlier, clove have a eugenol. Eugenol is the main ingredient in the clove. Then, so using this eugenol or clove oil, we can develop a soap or some especially soap for the antimicrobial properties. This is a really good, really new product, because today have some product they using synthetic chemicals, and they say is good for the microbial activity. But this eugenol is the natural chemical. So using this natural chemical, we can develop the so I think it's a really best product for the we can claim antimicrobial property. So then actually clove we can use, as earlier I discussed with you, it can have a fragrance, and also it can use as a perfume. You know, some luxury hotels, they are using clove perfume. And another thing is we can develop using this clove oil and mix it with what's it called, paraffin, and we can develop some uh, some mosquito repellent ointment or some paraffinic product, like that kind of thing. We can develop the candle especially, because for the candles we can mix with clove perfume. As a clove perfume, it's really given aromatic fragrance, and another thing is it's really given the natural inhaler. So most of today also many luxurious hotels, they like to use clove as a perfume. So if we can develop candles or some product like that kind of things, so we can capture new markets. So this is about the clove. Then I like to discuss about the pepper. Sorry, pepper. Pepper also same like that. Pepper today we are like to using as a just for the when we are preparing some cuisine, we like to add this pepper. But we couldn't think about what are the things we can using this pepper and develop. So what are the health and benefit things we can develop through the pepper? Just uh, just sending only raw as a raw material. So before discuss about the new products, I like to just open your eyes for the health benefits. Actually, pepper pepper have a weight loss property. So it can reduce, it can digest your fat, saturate in your body. This fat digesting purpose, uh, this pepper have a some chemicals is really important for the digestion purpose. So uh, then it helps for the weight loss purpose also, and it can reduce your cancer cells. So pepper have an antioxidant property, so that's why we can develop the product for the anti-carcinogenic uh, pharmaceutical product, and it helpful for the uh, uh, sugar, blood sugar level, reducing the blood sugar level, and also this pepper very helpful for the we have our teeth are bind with bone with the gum. This gum, time to time, when we are getting older, this this gum can be reducing, or it's natural. Sometimes some people couldn't have a proper gum layer, so this paper helpful for the improve your uh, gum layer in teeth, and reducing cholesterol level, and also it helpful for the your brain health. So I like to discuss about what are the food products we can develop through using pepper. First, as I explained you earlier, so we can use this pepper also as a food supplement. So what are the food supplements we can develop? We can develop for the blood glucose level, reducing the blood glucose, because clove can because pepper can improve uh, our natural sorry pepper can improve the liver function. So if pepper helpful for the improving the liver function, it means it can develop some our pancreas insulin, natural insulin. Insulin is helpful for the reducing the blood sugar, or insulin is the hormone can uh, it helpful for the digester. Uh, what are the products we are using with the sugar? So 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 pepper have a property. It helpful for the uh, increased insulin level, and uh, and as I discussed in earlier, it helpful for the digesting in saturated fat in the body. Then it helpful for the reducing the weight. Then what are the things? Other thing is cholesterol level. As I this if it's helpful for the reducing the fat level, it automatically reducing the cholesterol level also. Okay, then this this three these three non-communicable diseases can reduce in through the using pepper as a food. Then pharmaceutical products. What are the pharmaceutical products we can develop utilizing the pepper? As I discussed in earlier, it can helpful for the improving our oral health. So So we can develop toothpaste or mouthwash or something else. And I like to propose you, we can utilize pepper as an ingredient for toffee or chewing gum or peppermint. Through that kind of product, we can capture new market and uh, oral health product market, because toothpaste and mouthwash already have products in the market. That's why we can think about differently, like coffee or something else, because kids also like using these kind of product. And uh, also, if is it healthy toffee, uh, so we can claim this toffee is a healthy toffee. Then I know many elderly people also like to use it, this kind of product. Another thing is it treats for the anti dysteria. This is skin disease. Uh, for this one also we can use, and it helpful for the our brain, healthiness. As I discussed earlier, it have many antioxidant properties. These antioxidants are helpful for the increase our brain health. Then, as a cosmetic product, we can develop the cream anti-anemia. Then we can manufacturing for the no vitellogeny medicine. This vitellogeny is the biggest problem in Sri Lanka, because many people like to find some product for protect their skin for the vitellogeny area. So pepper have this property. Actually, we can develop many kind of product uh, using pepper. So these are the things I like to discuss about pepper and clove. Then I like to discuss about you, given some more about this current market. Uh, what are the factors we are facing? What are the barriers we have uh, in this market? One thing is we are not following good hygienic practices. If we following the good hygienic practices, it helpful for the we can earn lot of good price. We want to sell as a raw pepper or raw clove. If we develop the product in good hygienically, they have a huge market. Another thing is, if we develop cosmetic product or food product or any kind of product, we should consider about hygienic practices. This is the mandatory requirement. We are want to send in some European countries or some any international countries, or we want to sell the product in local market also. We need to think about good hygienic practices, because this product can be used our parents or our children or our native people. That's why we need to think about hygienic practice. Otherwise, if we utilizing this product and getting the sick, sick getting some diseases, then nobody willing to buy again. So that's why we need to think about the hygienic practice. Then proper documentation and recording system. Why we want proper documentation and recording system? If we have a properly recorded where we get this raw material and what are the process we follow, all the things are recorded, then it is really easy to trace back. Once you get some customer complaint, once you get the customer complaint or any problem, so you can discuss with them with the data. Another thing is, recording production records is really important to analyze your market achievement. And another thing is, because without data, you can't discuss about anything else. For example, if you want to get a bank loan or anything else, they are asking in your past data. So if you can show them, this is my past data, so this way my business is improved. So that's so proving all these things. So we need to have a proper document or record. Okay, so that's why documents and records are really important. One thing is facing, if you are facing for the customer complaint or something else. Other thing is, without data, you can't think about new development, your business, or without data, you can't discuss with another buyer or bank or anything else. So that's why record keeping is most important. Then next point is following the traceability system. Traceability system, as I discussed in earlier in the documentation process and recording keeping, traceability is the important, because if some customer complaint or if anything else, your finished product to raw material, we should have a proper traceability system. Otherwise, if we can't trace that, then you are getting the problem. You can't find where the problem is occurring, because problems can be occurring in the company 4 ways. One thing is your people who working in your company. Another thing is machinery what are we are using, we not machinery maintained properly or something else. Otherwise, material, what are the materials we utilize for the production. Thirdly, method. Fourthly, method. So if we want trace back, our problem is happened either man, either technology, either method, or either raw material, or what are the machines or equipments we utilize. So we need to have a proper traceability system. If we have a proper traceability system, then we can trace back easily. Next one is purchasing quality raw material. If, as I told you earlier during the traceability system, if we couldn't have a good quality raw material, final product also, we can't think about the quality product, because our input is the raw material. If we are utilizing poor quality raw material, then you can't think about the quality quality finished product. So if we want to develop our product, our finished product as a quality finished product, we need to consider about our raw material quality. It's the most important thing. So good hygienic practices, documentation, traceability, and raw material system is the most vulnerable and most essential things to develop your business. If we have a proper system, then you can easily capture new markets, and you can develop new products to the market. So thank you very much to listen to me. So actually, I like if you are asking me a question, or if you question me, then I can improve my knowledge and can share my experience also.
Yes. So you mentioned about the clove flavors.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the technology availability in Sri Lanka? Is it commercially viable technology availability?
Yes. Actually, clove flavor we can get through the easily way for the using fraction distillation.
Yeah.
Fraction distillation means we can fraction what are the chemicals, what are the essential chemicals they have. Then through that one, we can develop the flavor.
Yeah, I know that one, but my question is equipment availability.
Equipment availability is
For
yeah,
the
actually,
commercialized production.
yeah, actually in Sri Lanka we couldn't have a proper equipment for the fraction distillation, but ITI have Industrial Technology Institute. They have Japanese system for the fraction distillation. In laboratory scales, we have. Unfortunately, I know today we are suffering with these new technologies. So because for the getting the flavors, they have a lot of new technologies. For example, we can use chromato HPLC or any development technologies, but unfortunately, these technologies are a little bit cost. But if we can put some initial, if we can bear in the initial cost, we can earn a lot of money. That's why I try to tell you about, because if we think about initial cost is too much, we can't start business. It's really easy to sell in raw material, but what happened in Sri Lanka? Every time, the same place, because we are selling raw materials. You know, in many tea companies in Sri Lanka, they are purchasing flavors. This flavor 100 times cost than the raw material cost. Sometimes 1,000 times. For example, I can say 10 milliliter, okay, 10 milliliter clove essence, clove flavor. I think more than $1,000.
Yeah.
So raw material, what is the cost?
Yeah, and there is a potential to start that type of business. That's what IDB want to emphasize.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
yeah that's right.
IDB want to emphasize. That's what I asked. In starting stage, sometimes we want some capital. If there's a investor who would like to start this type of thing, there's a potential. There's a potential for them to start this business, and they can find a market, good market.
Yeah, because actually these flavors, natural flavors, have a huge market.
Yeah.
Because most of them are try to use some like a synthesize chemicals.
Yeah.
For the flavors, but most of people think about today they don't like using the synthesized chemicals because of one problem is cancer, other problem is many diseases, non-communicable diseases coming from using synthesized chemical. That's why most of them like to use in natural flavors. If as a government, I think as a government also we can identify these kind of sectors. For example, these developing flavors or something else. As a government also can invest these projects. I think it's really helpful for the country. Otherwise, if we are sending the raw material, useless.
No point of getting much. Yes. Okay, sir, my questions are over. Now,
and another thing is, and not only flavors, we can think about food supplement. Food supplement is really easy to develop.
Yeah.
For example, we can using hard gelatin or soft gelatin capsules. We can develop the food supplement.
Yeah, there are some entrepreneurs who manufacture food supplements, and we can share this presentation, this session for them. They most probably they will think about that, because sometimes they didn't know about they doesn't know about the this type
This
of
kind of
products. Then we can share with them.
Yeah, that's why I beginning of my session I try to explain them what are the health benefits. We need to know about the health benefits. Then if we are develop the product, it's really easy. This is the health benefit. This health benefit we try to develop this kind of product. Otherwise, so wasting the time, because if we send in some food supplements European market, they asking, so for what we can use this food supplement. So we can't claim that one, then there was no any market.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for your explanation.
So today our discussion it was about utilization of clove and pepper for development of food, pharmaceutical and cosmetics products. So it is a big privilege for us, sir, to having you in this session. Thank you very much, Mr. A.M Hettiarachchi-Visiting Lecturer, as well as Business Advisor, for giving us your valuable time to success this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you.